15th round picks matter. Devontae Booker was a 15th rounder. You can make an argument for a number of players who were 15th rounders, who are future studs and keepers. We're talking about game changers here, folks. Not used toilet paper that you just flush down. Watch it swirl into the damn toilet bowl. There it goes, just got sucked into the drain. Speaking of sucking, we're going to talk a lot about Aaron's team tonight, so stay tuned for that.
Is this going?
Yeah, I'm recording right now. I'm recording right now. My fat face is in the screen.
Let's fucking
I'm
get
trying
it
to
going.
look happy. I'm never looking mean.
Alright, so.
All you see is blue. You ain't gonna see the green, because I ain't trying to put that illegal shit up on the screen. Aaron is a fiend. He really loves to eat.
Come on, dude. No one wants to hear this. God damn it. Alright, yo.
Put it right here.
No.
Put it on this.
Alright, guys. Last week was fun. Whoever had Jeremy Hill, props. Props. You know, your opponent was probably thinking, right, Jeremy Hill, sweet. Not worried about it. Boom, Jeremy Hill blows up. So if you had Jeremy Hill, that feels good. Your opponent feels like shit. Good move. The Matt Forte owners, if you started Forte, God bless you for sticking with the man. All right, okay, Mike, fuck out of my dude. Get out of here, man. My fucking fries, Holmes. My fries. All right, Mike. Okay, so if you had Matt Forte and you stuck with them, good for you, Matt. What do you do going forward? Trade his ass immediately, or you ride it out? Mike, go for it. What do we do with Matt Forte right now?
I'm saying trade him.
Trade him? Do you start him?
Yeah.
Start him still?
Still start him.
All right.
Now.
Well, it'd be interesting to see.
Field offers for Matt Forte.
All of those who
He
bought
should-
low on Matt Forte was a good look.
He's still running back 2 quality. Arguably. Not running back 1. But you can start him now, so those of all those you desperate to do it.
Well, hey.
Desperate motherfuckers
I don't
out
know.
there.
All right, cool. So who else blew up this week? There was a lot of action going on. A little bit of a weird week, you know. A little bit of a weird. Drew Brees did Drew Brees. I think I was wrong about that. There was something else I was completely wrong about too.
Derek Carr and Blake Bortles. Both
Mhm.
putting up huge weeks.
Yep.
They didn't do it.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of talk about Allen Robinson and his value going forward. A lot of talk about how Blake Bortles has regressed. Well, this year they haven't had the type of run game they had last year. Even last year with T.J. Yeldon, they had a couple of nice games with that dude. And I think Denard Robinson came in late in the year and had some success running the ball as well. But now there is some validity to that though. Bortles looks bad, which really hurts Robinson's value. I guess I'd be very worried if I owned him. I probably would be trying to trade him because I love to trade.
Well, Allen Robinson is one of those guys where it's hard to trade because of the name value. But he's had one good year. The year before that, he was a nobody. So the thing is, Allen Robinson, the window for buying low is completely open. People should be hitting up Allen Robinson owners.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I think the Jags will get it going. Chris Ivory will get it going. T.J. Yeldon's their passing back. They have all the pieces that they need to win. Dante Fowler Jr. is healthy. Jalen Strong's actually been not the worst cornerback. They've been in some close games. I don't know why Bortles is throwing interceptions. But I look for the Jags to at least make it interesting. I'm not going to give up on them. And I think if Robinson can be gotten into the deal, get him. Why not get him?
I guess, yeah.
Well,
Still holds value in keeper leagues because there's always next year, folks.
right.
When your players don't pan out, he's still a very talented dude.
I think
you gotta
Odell
think-
Beckham's the same way. Like
Yeah.
maybe next year is the year for him. This is the year to buy low on him.
Yeah, if you want to talk about trying to trade, it's tough to gauge his value. I don't know, man. I'd have to look deeply into that, but at this point, there's other guys out there who don't have the name value that are more valuable than an Allen Robinson, and that hurts for the owners of Allen Robinson.
Well, you know
Because
what?
they don't know how to. They don't really know what they they want to get as much as they can for him, but they don't know if they should settle for a lesser named guy or. Like a good trade that pops into my head is like Allen Robinson for Brandon Marshall, something like that. But two guys who have been a little disappointing. Brandon Marshall's had
I
better
wouldn't do
year.
that though.
Yeah, but he's had a better year. But Robinson still holds the name value, so that gives him like it kind of evens out
The
because
potential,
of that.
the youth. It's
youth.
a keeper league
and I
too.
know Marshall has the name value, and there's countless others.
And you know what? The Jets are trending down, whereas the Jaguars are at least, I would like to think, are kind of in a position where they could go down or they could go up. And I'm really hoping they go up. However, I did jump ship off Bortles because he has been off his game this year.
Yeah. And honestly, another good, like Amari Cooper for Allen Robinson at this point it's more of a risk for Amari Cooper owners, but there's always that
I don't know.
what if
I think
factor, what if they play better.
I think Oakland is for real.
Yeah.
I like it.
The thing is, Oakland has Crabtree to
so
throw
far,
to.
Oakland.
Like, that's the difference between the Jaguars and Oakland is Allen Hurns hasn't stepped up like Crabtree, so Allen Robinson is still the dude, yet the numbers haven't shown that.
Remember how Roger Goodell was addressing on how the ratings for NFL have gone down and the NFL has not gotten as interesting? If you think the NFL is not interesting, then you haven't been paying attention to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Because or what about the Cowboys? There's all these interesting things happening everywhere. A lot is brewing in the NFL world.
Yeah.
And I love it, and I just want to see what happens. You know what I mean?
For people like Roger Goodell, people who lack imagination and vision, because he clearly does, as we've seen by a lot of these rule changes and stupid shit the last couple of years. Like, for instance, you're going to move the fucking extra point back to the 33-yard line when during a real, like, fucking live game, end of the first quarter, end of the fourth quarter, a motherfucking kicker could kick a 27-yarder and get 3 points, and you're going to tell me an extra point is now 33 yards and it's only worth 1 point? How's that make sense? You can literally score 2 more points by kicking. Like, the lowest you can kick is like an 18-yarder. So from 18 to 32 yards, you're getting 3 points and you're kicking it less than an extra point. What a dumb rule change. Moving the ball up, trying to take the kick returns out of it to increase player safety. Look, man, these guys signed up for football here. And special teams makes or breaks careers. What you have done is not prevented the risk of injury. You've prevented unknown players from stepping up and getting more money.
Think about it. Roberto Aguayo, kicker, taken super high in the round because it makes sense. Imagine if you had an ace kicker, a guy who could just was reliable. You know what I mean? Like Gostkowski and Vinatieri. It's like, dude, Super Bowl on the line. Kicking the field goal, he's gonna fucking make it. Especially with the extra point being an extra point, I can see why the kicker would be valuable. I understand why Tampa Bay went high on Aguayo, but he has missed field goals this season, so I don't even know if it was worth it or
I'm
not.
speaking in direct regards to some of the rule change, and
I feel like
yeah.
I mean, this
the
makes the
NFL
kicker more valuable.
The NFL is exciting, and there's still a lot to talk home about. It's gotten younger, which means it's probably less aware. There's not as many great players, but with younger players, you get more exciting plays, more athletic ability, and I've noticed this year there haven't been as many concussions. I think that there's been some injuries, there's been some things that have happened, but that's football every year. But in terms of like huge hits or like knocking a player out, that is yet to happen this year, I think.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, and there hasn't been any crazy. I do want to say like they've been a little bit lenient with the pass interferences on defense.
I like it. Let them play.
It's for a while there it was just like the offense can move the ball at will, and it's starting to get better. So those that say it sucks, they're wrong, and they're not playing fantasy football the right way if they think it sucks. Because honestly, that is what makes football so interesting and fun.
Okay, so Mike, I want to wrap up this general intro with the fact that Robbie Gould is on the Giants. John Brown is into some shit. Who cares? Robbie Gould, pick him up. Someone do it. It's fun. It's fantasy football. All right, the Giants have a good knack for getting close.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Robbie Gould.
Kickers matter, like you said. Punt return kickers matter. Lives matters.
Kickers' lives matter.
I feel like kickers' lives matter because you know what? If you miss a kick, holy shit, that sucks. You kind of lost the game, especially when the game was so close and that oh my god, that amazing touchdown was made.
Amazing.
And then holy shit, we got the onside kick. Oh my god, we're about to win. And then boom,
right now.
Shanked.
Yeah, shank it away. Shank City.
Shanking like Hubler on the course. So, anyways,
you
just
get-
kidding, bro.
you get
That's just a jab to see if you're watching. That's all.
Shanked like a prison riot.
So, anyways, we just want to wrap it up saying, Robbie, go pick him up. All right, Mike. What
yeah,
other
man.
general
We'll
topics?
get into
LaShawn McCoy. I'm
I'll-
calling it out. I'm just saying. We're talking about LaShawn McCoy right now.
No, we're not. We'll talk about him after I say this. It's a lot to talk about. He's hallucinating right now. Why would we talk about LaShawn McCoy first? The big story is C.J. Anderson going down and the emergence of Devontae Booker. I think that's what we should start off with. We should spend the next 20 minutes on that.
Oh, okay. So I just, I gave Odell and Devontae Booker. I didn't want to give Devontae Booker, but it was the condition to get the first round pick.
You
Which
don't
I
need to
didn't
make it
need.
about you. You honestly don't need to. We're just going to talk about it from an objective standpoint. Like, there's talk that this guy could be superstar status. And as a
Right.
football analyst, not just a fantasy analyst, I have to concur that this guy has shown flashes of brilliance, not only in the NFL level, but throughout his career at the college level. I think he was played with Utah, I want to say. Watched some clips of him. He is a powerful runner, but he runs with shiftiness and fearless tenacity out there, I guess you could say. And that's what I've seen on the field, these last couple weeks with him. And now that he's got the starting role, I think there's a good chance that he could emerge as a possible keeper.
They're using him, and that's the segment, man. I've always been about Devontae Booker. Guess what? 2 weeks ago, when I did Odom, I was annoying Mike because I was rooting for him. But guess what? Mike has Devontae Booker now, so the trade works out. All right, the trade works out. Yeah, I know we're making it about the league, Mike, because the league are the people that watch this video.
Yeah. So you would think
Devontae Booker is going to be
given what
fun.
we saw from C.J. Anderson the first couple weeks, he put up some big games. Then you saw a little bit more of Booker being into the mix. Now, what I think is going to happen is it's just going to be a Devontae Booker backfield, and it'll be similar to what we saw the first couple weeks when C.J. Anderson in, where he's a focal point in that offense, and they're going to feed the beast. They're going to let the rookie run, and I think he'll be active in the pass game, and hopefully he can keep it going.
The pass game
Because
is
he's
what,
a nice little find. We've been talking throughout these segments, throughout the year, that these prospects emerge and they become the dudes. They become
and you know
the
what?
keepers.
He got his touchdown
And
last week.
I was high on Jordan Howard, but I said last week's segment I was down on him. I mean, this is fantasy football. It changes like that. It's like the market. It's like S&P 500, bitch. Actually, the S&P 500 is steady and consistent, supposedly. But anyways, that's beside the point. Point is, dudes emerge, and Devontae Booker is just more evidence to that fact. What I want to talk about is like other possible prospects to keep a lookout for, because as you said, McCoy,
Mike Gillislee.
I don't think he's really a prospect per se. He's not a rookie, but he's a guy you want to look out for. I'm hearing rumblings about Terrence Dixon or Kenneth Dixon getting more work and more of a committee situation with Terrence West. He's kind of had a couple of bad games, and so he could be a guy to own too. Robert Kelly's another one we got to mention to keep a lookout for. We're not really doing a waiver segment, but
Matt
he's
Jones,
definitely a guy you want to own. Matt
Jones
is
has
kind
been
of on the
fumbling.
down. Yes,
And you know what?
Right.
The Redskins are winning. And then, they're still competitive. So it's like, yes, Robert Kelly is a nice little stash if you can get him in your league.
So what about like a Don Jackson?
You know what?
Is he worth
Not
it?
to make it about myself, but he burned me. Never again. So that's me. But you can do it more objective. I think Ty Montgomery's the guy. Now Davis is just a better back.
Yeah, I just
But Montgomery put on a show.
I feel like you probably want to own either Niles or Don Jackson, but Montgomery's obviously got to own because
Jackson is not
It
worth
looks like
owning.
they're getting back to that West Coast quick passing. Rodgers makes quick decisions. Spread the field and create space for those one-on-one matchups. And Ty Montgomery fits into that scheme perfectly.
It was just he was so versatile, and Ty Montgomery's the guy. Last week I said you didn't need to put a waiver in for him, but I was wrong. All you guys who put a waiver in for him, including my cousin Mike, I believe I picked him up too, and then I dropped him because I couldn't play him at the right running back position.
Yeah, I looked at him as a must-add. I'm on record of saying that. I thought it's like definitely use a waiver on him because as soon as a guy gets 10 catches in a game, no matter if he only has 50 yards, it's like, look, the quarterback threw to him a lot, and it seemed to be high value, high percentage. It's not like he's running down the field, and it didn't look like a fluke. It was a lot of short passes. So they've obviously found a role for Montgomery in that offense, and he's a must-own at this point. He's a right through 2 games, he's up there with any of the like B plus players, like the Jarvis Landrys, and the type like that, like guys in that category.
Yeah,
I can never think of players on the spot.
So if you have Ty Montgomery, hold on to him, or maybe if you want to get crazy, he could be the ultimate package deal for a trade.
But I think in a PPR league,
especially if he does it twice in a row.
So far, he's just if you have a solid team, let's say you're a kind of a shitty team, you're not looking like you're going to make the playoffs or it's looking iffy right now, then yes, Ty Montgomery is a possible guy you could package, especially in keeper leagues, maybe upgrade a little bit, try to get someone more long-term, start planning for next year. But if you have Montgomery and you're a solid team, he might just be that find that puts you over the hill, that PPR gold mine that's just like the X factor. Like, you look at a team after the draft and you're like, that team's not so good. But then you look at it halfway through the fantasy season with a guy that's getting 10 catches a game in Montgomery who was picked up off the waiver wire, and you're like, all of a sudden, this team looks really damn good because what he's showing is he's an equivalent to a Julian Edelman when he's healthy or a Jarvis Landry, just high-volume targets in an offense that likes to throw short. And it's really unique situation for him. He comes out of the backfield. He also lines up in the slot, so he's kind of like this slot receiver that also is in there in the shotgun passes for those check down routes. So it's a good situation, man. I say lean on him for all he's worth until he shows otherwise.
Ty Montgomery's the guy. Devontae Booker's the guy. Who else has become the guy that we haven't mentioned?
Well, there's a few other
Kadeem Carey could have become the guy in Chicago.
I wanted to talk about Chicago situation.
I mean, did Jordan Howard...
Oakland situation, too.
Oh, okay, that's a muddlement. Latavius Murray, why is everyone so down on him?
Because he was doing really shitty. He got hurt, but he's come back. He got 2 touchdowns this last week. He's looking solid.
He does shit. He doesn't get hurt, but like he always gets in the end zone.
Yeah, he seems to find a way to still put up production.
He just finds a way to score. So I don't know, man. I think
at this point, I was saying throughout this year's bail on Latavius Murray, but now I gotta say you gotta ride with him while he's hot. It looks like he's reestablished himself. I don't think Jalen Richard has as much of a role in that offense from what I've seen the past couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And DeAndre Washington is merely just a spell running back at this point. So hold on to DeAndre Washington. You can probably drop Jalen Richard. And now's the time. Ride Murray while you can, because he could go through another spell of just horrendous games for a couple of weeks. But as of now, he looks like he's going to be involved, and he's healthy. So that bodes well because Oakland's a high volume offense.
Murray is just one of those quiet producers where it's like when you own him, you're frustrated.
Right.
It's kind of like a girlfriend that's like not as pretty, but she just hooks it up. She's making food, she's doing your laundry and shit, and then you dump her. You get this hot chick, and then she's kind of a bitch, and then you miss that. So Latavius Murray, he'll give you those games. He finds a way to score.
He does your dirty laundry.
He's gonna do your laundry, and
he makes you eggs on Sunday morning.
I feel like we all miss that window. It's like this is the time to get Latavius Murray. Be like, oh my God, I'll trade you so and so for Latavius. You know, what I mean? I'll take him off your hands.
So there's that. With Chicago, like we said earlier, Howard, he's obviously looking on a downward trend. They got Minnesota this week, so no running back in Chicago is really that great of a play. But if you are going to play anyone, I know there's talk Langford might be available. He's been practicing. But I think it's Kareem Carey or whatever the fuck, man. Carey's the guy to probably pick up. He's trending upwards. He's done the most with his carries the last couple of weeks, and looks like he's finding more of a niche, a comfortable niche in that offense. And Howard's on his way out. Especially if Langford comes back, it's going to get really murky. But I think he'll have the opportunity to be on the field and possibly reestablish himself as the guy. But for now, it looks like Carey is the guy you want to own. And I know there's a lot of bye weeks this week. I think there's like 5 or 6 teams on a bye, so the options are thin for a number of positions, particularly the running back position. But I would say if you are struggling and your waiver wire's thin and Carey's still there, why not? He could get you a solid 8 or 9 points this week against Minnesota. It could be a game where the Bears just get some garbage time love because Jay Cutler's going to come back. We'll see. He's had some good games against Minnesota, but either way, ultimately you would like to stay away from Chicago, but don't play. I wouldn't play Jordan Howard anymore. Let's just leave it at that. Carey's looking better than him. Fucking Tampa Bay is another option. Keep riding Jacquizz Rodgers. He looks like the real deal.
Until Doug Martin comes back, at least.
Yeah, and even if he does, hold on to Jacquizz Rodgers and
Spencer Ware
just see it's going. Yeah, that's
seems
another
to
one.
be
Spencer Ware.
yeah.
That's the final running back we'll talk about. Is these are like what ifs. Like Spencer Ware, ride him right now. Jamal Charles has bum knees. He looks like damaged goods, broken commodity. So Spencer Ware is rolling, man.
Ken Dixon.
I mentioned like he's a guy you kind of want to look into. Like and him and Robert Kelly are like in the same class. They're prospects that could eventually emerge.
They could get their starting position.
Right.
I'm gonna be smart and just hold on to it and not do anything rash. Todd Gurley's been trending upward too. I've noticed that he has been getting involved in the pass game.
Yeah, Todd Gurley's started to level out, and he's definitely.
I think Kenny Britt.
Start him every week.
I like the Rams' chemistry, but you know what?
They're on a bye week
in a
this
keeper
week,
league.
so.
Try to get him low. Right now is the time to buy low on Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
In a keeper league because I don't know, Ezekiel Elliott just seems to be the truth.
Yeah, that's like a good trade.
Will it continue?
Like go get Todd Gurley if Ezekiel continue. Yeah, I think Ezekiel is going to continue to be a fantasy beast.
Just for like ever.
I just think it's going to be like him, David Johnson, and Le'Veon Bell are the three workhorses the rest of the year, barring injuries. But
maybe LaShawn McCoy.
I mean, Ezekiel gets catches. He's
damn. It's just
wise
like,
beyond his years. He's a great athlete.
Yeah.
That offensive line. I know you always want to mention that, but it is true, man. Like they create holes that any running back could run through and find success in. So it's a good situation, man. I mean, nothing much to Ezekiel start him every week. Kind of like with Todd Gurley, kind of like Frank Gore.
I'm talking long term
every week,
for Ezekiel. Like, you're thinking Ezekiel's gonna be a fancy beast for the next, foreseeable future.
Yeah. There's nothing to show otherwise.
Well, could you argue that right now Todd Gurley's not really experiencing that type of love, but
no, he's not.
In the future, do you think he'll eventually get it going where it's like he's having 20-point games every single week?
Yeah,
because he hasn't really done that yet.
Well, if you put Todd Gurley with that offensive line in Dallas and with that system, I mean, say what you want about Jason Garrett and the entire organization, but they've had the same style offense in place for a number of years, and there's some good leadership in that organization.
Todd Gurley just
I was going to say, you put Todd Gurley there, and he looks just like Ezekiel.
But the thing is, he's in L.A.
So yeah, that caps his value value quite a bit.
Lowers his ceiling a little.
And there's always this you can always speculate what if the Rams get a beast offensive lineman in the draft, or what if they just turn it around next year? In that case, yeah, Gurley's a monster,
And that's probably what they're going to do.
He's a keeper running back because he's young, he's talented, and
I think
he could be in that conversation someday.
The Rams should get Alshon.
Yeah,
Torrey Smith is in the trade block next November. I think November 1st is the trade deadline. Torrey Smith, we might be seeing him go to possibly the Eagles, but I want to see the Rams get it going because I am rooting for Gurley. I want him to pan out and just have a monster season. So you're right, Mike. What's to stop the LA Rams from just getting a beast line? What's to stop?
Nothing. I mean, it can happen. It can happen.
I mean, in
it's
Dallas,
not going to happen overnight, though. So
is Dallas's offensive line? How long is that going to hold up for the next?
Well, they got as long as Tyrone Smith's healthy and Travis Frederick is one of the better centers in the league, and then they got a good guard. And I mean, it's not like it's completely dominant. I mean, it's a good offensive line though, but a lot of that is because they're running the same scheme and they got the players that fit the style scheme right now. I mean, they're they're not really going downfield too much, did you notice? Romo liked to go downfield more. I think Garrett likes that, but this is kind of like an efficient, short dunk-off offense. Control the clock, run the football, be smart, and limit the amount of minutes and the amount of time your defense is on the field, because that's between the two sides in Dallas. Defense is not as good as offense, I would say. There's more talent on the offensive side of the ball. So everything they're doing is just working out with their personnel, whereas in the Rams still need to figure it out. And maybe Goff can change that. Maybe he can become more of a downfield guy because Keenum likes to throw it short.
Tavon Austin would love to have a guy that could just launch it for him.
Yeah.
He's just a much better... Kenny Stills wishes he was Tavon Austin.
Yeah, maybe. Kenny Stills is kind of random. That's a random one for sure.
But he's the guy that just Tannehill goes deep. And the thing is, it's like... If the Rams had a Tannehill-like guy that could just launch it down, Tavon Austin's that guy that's going to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's the down.
Kenny
he could be a
Stills is in a
downfield
better
threat.
fantasy situation, so it's kind of like it would be very cool if for some reason the fantasy gods smiled upon the Rams maybe in the draft next year and allowed some of these guys that have been just yearning for fantasy points to finally just become things.
Right. So, all right, man. So let's get into the previews for this week. What we expect. I'm gonna load up the schedule. We'll just take it game by game. Why don't you break down tonight's game for us? You got the Jags at Tennessee.
All right, so
Let's
I'm
see.
predicting this to be kind of a boring, slow game.
Keep it going.
Okay, so this is going to be a defensive game. DeMarco's going to probably get a touchdown, probably do his thing. I predict Blake Bortles will do decent, 16 points. We'll have an interception, 208 yards, and 1 touchdown to probably Marquise Lee. Just, you know what I mean? It's going to be something weird. But I think it'll be kind of a lot of special teams, like you said. Punting, 3 and outs. It's Thursday night. So I'm not.
Could be a sloppy game.
Yeah, I'm not envisioning a shootout. I'm envisioning like Chris Ivory's gonna look good tonight, but he's only gonna get like 67 yards, maybe like 1 catch. So it's like he looks good, but it's still like just 6 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? T.J.
Right,
Yeldon, is he hurt?
I think he's still out there, but he's definitely the,
But yeah,
Winston
so
favorite.
I'm thinking Marquise Lee is gonna just take a lot of. I'm thinking he's gonna be involved in the game, and
So,
you're gonna see a lot of Hearns, a little. You'll see a little bit of Allen Robinson, but
So yeah, where do you think Robinson's a must start tonight, or is he the type of guy you got to put on your bench?
you know what? I'm starting to think that unless it's your dude, you gotta just not start people on Thursday night because I hate Thursday night. I hate it.
Okay.
Last Thursday, Bears Packers just was unless you had Ty Montgomery and Rodgers, and even Randall Cobb, but it's just like there was a lot of guys that just So Thursday night's tough. This is I feel like Robinson, don't start him tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna say start him because this is the week Robinson silences the doubters. I like Jacksonville tonight. I think Bortles is gonna have an efficient game. I think that they will show up prepared to play. I think it's gonna be a good game. I don't see it being too sloppy. You got 2 young teams that the Titans have been playing good football. They got a stud in DeMarco, and Mariota's been playing well. But also 2 bend but don't break type of defenses. It could be a kicking game. I think it's going to be an entertaining game, but I do think Robinson's could drop 20 tonight. I really do. I think they're going to make it a point to feed that dude.
I don't know. I think Marquise Lee is just going to continue to do his thing, but that's why we disagree because you know what?
Here's the thing. If Chris Ivory is able to do well, that'll open up the pass game. It's all connected, So that bodes well for the entire offense if they can get Chris Ivory going on the ground.
predicting, how about this? I predicted Bortles to get 1 touchdown. So we're looking at 13-14 Titans.
That's crazy. I think it'll be in the 20s for both teams, and there'll be some fantasy points to go around. Obviously, you want to start DeMarco. I think it's tough to start Bortles or Mariota, but I just think one of them's going to do well at least. I don't see it being a whack game.
I've learned my lessons.
I
don't like Thursday night. I'm gonna if I had Bortles and if I had 2 quarterbacks, I would probably sit Bortles depending on the matchup.
If you were desperate, would you start Chris Ivory?
I think this is a bye week for a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying.
But Tennessee.
You know what? Let's just sum it. Let's just wrap it up with.
Mike, you don't want to underestimate Tennessee's defense.
I don't.
And that's the thing.
But you don't want to underestimate Jaguars' ability to just break out either.
And I feel like it's going to be a defensive game on both sides because the Jags defense, we said don't underestimate them, and I think the Tennessee Titans defense. So it's like this is just kind of like not a good fantasy situation for anybody.
I see it being like a 27-21. Jaguars.
I say stay away from this game. All right, let's go to the other ones, man. What's going on with this?
You got the Redskins and Bengals. What are you doing?
I'm trying to. We're looking at the matchups.
Yeah, we just look at the schedules and then we know all the players.
Oh, let's go to the London game.
Yeah, so Redskins and Bengals. Kirk Cousins, this is a tough matchup for him. Bengals have been pretty decent against the quarterback, but I think Kirk Cousins is a pretty reliable start every week. He can get that downfield threat going. Even without the run game, if they can run the ball and get Chris Thompson, Robert Kelly, and maybe Matt Jones can stop moving the ball, that bodes well for the entire offense. But that being said, Kirk Cousins doesn't need the offense to get it going on the ground game for him to have big plays, and the Bengals, they can give up big plays. But go to the other side of the football, and the Bengals, I think they're a must start. Even Brandon LaFell, start him. Start Jeremy Hill. Start Gio. Start Dalton. Start Green. Start Tyler Eifert. I think the Redskins defense. I'm not sure if Norman will be available, but even if he's a little banged up, they're not very good against the run. They're decent against the pass, but Andy Dalton lit it up last week, and I know it was against the Browns, but so what? They're hot. AJ Green, he's hot. Play them. The Bengals could be in for a big week this week against the Redskins. On the other side of the ball, I say Kirk Cousins is the only real for sure start, man. Chris Thompson and Jamison Crowder are two guys I really like this week too, so play them.
Well,
but Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon, they've become too iffy for me to rely on. And,
it's very touch and go.
I don't see it.
What if Matt Jones or what if Rob Kelly gets named starter or some random thing like that happens? Say Sunday morning, it's Rob Kelly's actually starting.
Well, yeah, then play him because it's prospect, and you want to
even in London
take advantage of that.
I don't know. Washington and Cincinnati is the London game.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably. I mean, with the lineup I have, I wouldn't start him, but
yeah, I would avoid that game too. I don't know if I'd like that matchup. I mean, it might be. You might be.
We'll also wait and see.
Deshaun Jackson.
If Jordan Reed's playing, then yes.
I could see Deshaun Jackson actually having a good game in that game. I can see Jeremy Hill doing well and Giovanni Bernard. Dalton, yeah, like you said, Dalton.
Yeah, I'm big in favor. I got the
Bengals. I don't know. Tyler Effort's probably getting ready to get going. So if you've been waiting on him, I don't know. This could be a decent game. Washington, yeah, I don't like the running backs. Maybe Deshaun Jackson gets a good one, but it could be a Jamison Crowder continue to do his thing.
Yeah, I like Crowder a little bit more, especially after last week. And if Jordan Reed comes in, that just bodes well for Kirk Cousins, like I said at the top of this.
Wow, actually, I didn't realize that New England's playing Buffalo. Rex Ryan really. That's good. What do you make of that history, dude? Because
I don't know.
We got
Brady could. He's done some he's had some shitty games against Rex Ryan coached defenses,
right?
And Rob Ryan coached defenses, but he's also had some huge games against them and just shut them up. And I know the Patriots are going to want some revenge after losing to the Bills in Week 3, so I think Brady's in for a good game.
Yeah, what do you make of LaShawn McCoy maybe not playing?
That's why I'm saying
amongst let's see who else is injured. Obviously Sammy Watkins, but Marquise Goodwin.
He's in concussion protocol.
And he was the kind of guy that I was thinking he was the one that was emerging as kind of the Bills' option because Robert Woods is never.
So
he's never gotten done.
So quick assessment on this one. I don't like the Bills. Patriots start him. Tyrod Tiller sit him. If you got Gillislee, you got to play him because he's a running back, and it's a tough week for running backs. But don't start anyone else for the Bills. Like I said, I see the Patriots playing motivated. They're going to be ready.
Bills defense, pass on.
And the Bills they're starting to look not so good. They just lost and gave up a lot of points to a lot of yards rushing to Jay Ajayi. I know it was a close game, but they also gave up that big play to Kenny Stills, and that kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Honestly.
So Bills are trending down. They just went on the road and lost, and now they got the Patriots, I think, coming into town, and that's going to be tough. So start the Patriots all around, I would say.
Even the Patriots defense.
Yes, and I think James White is. I don't know. I like LeGarrette Blount more than James White this week, but James White's kind of the iffy one. But you got to start him because he's PPR gold. You got to play him while you still can before Lewis comes in and takes the position.
Edelman had double digits.
This is a good week to start him.
And so it's you know what? We say give him one more chance. I feel like double digits is kind of all right. 13 points in our league PPR. So yeah, give him. He deserves one more game. If you don't get that big, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But he got his 13 points, so we can't complain. Let's move on to the New York Giants and the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. That's gonna be just a saucy man. It's gonna be a fun game because it's both these teams need to fucking win.
Yeah, and you got Josh McCown coming back for the Browns,
which I like. So Terrell Pryor must start.
I forget about. I feel is he hurt? If he's not hurt, then start him. I know.
No, he's coming back.
He's gonna be okay. Yeah. So start him. You got McCown back in. So all of a sudden the Browns are a juicy little team. You can get some sneaky points out of them.
Yeah,
I say start him.
The Jets for some reason
start him. Barnridge.
I don't know what's going on with the Jets defense.
I don't know. They did good last week. They could be hitting their stride, but I just like that McCown's coming back. I'm an avid believer in that spark plug type of move.
Right,
and this is a spark plug moment.
I know for a fact because in my league, I'm putting my number one waiver on Terrell Pryor, TP.
Oh shit!
So I'm using I'm putting him on him against the Jets.
Thanks for telling me that, because I got the number 3 in that league, and I've been waiting. I'm gonna get him now.
Well, I have the number 1, dude.
Oh fuck.
Anyways, dude, so
Perfect.
I kind of like Terrell Pryor with the resurgence of Josh McCown, Crowell, Duke Johnson. It's going to be a good game. New York Jets need to win. Fitzpatrick is
Yeah.
down on himself, but you know what? Nothing like that to motivate him, man. So I think Brandon Marshall, Fitzpatrick, Anua, all must starts. Maybe
Yeah,
the only
they could
person
all
that
be
wouldn't start is
starts.
Bilal Powell.
Yeah, start Forte.
Start
and,
Forte.
This could be a redemption game, a
Fitzpatrick.
bounce back game for.
This
The
is a
Jets
bye week,
for
so I think
Fitzpatrick.
Quincy Anua could be a good look, too.
Brandon Marshall's had 2 bad weeks in a row. I look for him to get back in the 20s. There could be some big fantasy points to go around in this game. I like this week, man, so far. You got the Chiefs and Colts next, another game that could be some big fantasy points, and you're not going to say that too often with a game involving the Chiefs. But even Jeremy Maclin could be a solid little play this week. I know the Colts are pretty decent against receivers, but Maclin, you should still be relying upon him. You don't want to miss out on that big game with Maclin, so play him. And Spencer Ware is he's a top 5 running back this week. I love the matchup. So Alex Smith is really the guy you want. Travis Kelce, obviously, you gotta play him. He's a tight end, and why not? But Alex Smith is the guy. Like, do you start him after a good week last week, or?
Oh yeah, man, it's the Colts. Like I said,
because it's a bye week, this is important.
Yeah, it's a bye week. Anyone playing the Colts is going to be a good look. Maclin, if someone's selling Maclin low and you need to win this week, I don't know, say you're involved in trade talks, give Maclin, because Maclin hasn't really been doing that good. So against Indianapolis, this is the week where he gets his 100 yards, gets his touchdown.
That would
The
be
Colts
nice. It'd be nice to see him go.
Yeah, man. What about the Colts? The Chiefs defense though. That's the thing.
I want to talk about the Colts offense. It's a little bit murkier on that side. Obviously, you're probably going to start Luck every week. You're probably going to start Ty. It's Frank Gore. I think he's earned start matchup proof status. I don't like the matchup though this week. I think this could be one of his worst games. But,
it's at Indianapolis.
What you got to decide is Jack Doyle. He was a nice find last week for those that played him. Is he startable? Is Philip Dorsett or the what's the other guy's name? I don't think Moncrief is actually back yet. But
Moncrief might be coming back for this game. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to play him right off the bat.
But,
basically, T.Y. Hilton and Luck are the only sure things. Gore is obviously, you got to just swallow it and hope he does well. Don't start the Colts defense, and you know what? Stay away from the Chiefs defense too, just in case. What?
Yeah, I would start. I wish Jamal Charles was healthy. I mean, I hear there's inflammation in both knees, because if Jamal Charles was healthy and truly back, I could see this being a Jamal Charles game. So, man. So that's going to be a fun one. All right, so we'll move on to Houston and Detroit. I like the matchup. Brock Osweiler's been getting kind of hit hard in the media lately. I know DeAndre Hopkins is hungry. Will Fuller's hungry. I can see Detroit and Houston being a really fun match. Matt Stafford's been playing pretty smart football, so expect Detroit to be doing well. I know the Houston Texans defense is good, but Marvitron and all these guys, Stafford's just been finding a way to do it.
Stafford's been getting it done. He's looking very good.
Yeah.
I like the matchup. The Texans, it's a little bit different of a story. Obviously, Osweiler's not a guy you want to roll with. DeAndre Hopkins has become a mediocre wide receiver 2 play. Not that great. Will Fuller, he's kind of disappeared. Lamar Miller, even not the greatest play this week. The best play this week for the Texans is their tight end, because the Lions, besides against Zach Ertz, have been the worst team in football against tight ends. They're giving up an average of 6 or 7 catches and 70 yards, and I think they've given up 7 touchdowns to tight ends this year. It's ridiculous numbers, and even a guy like Fedora, it's very low key guy. He's a good solid pickup this week for those that have Kyle Rudolph or maybe those waiting on a Jordan Reed to get healthy, or a number of other guys on their bye. So the matchups, that's the best matchup for the Texans. Otherwise, I mean, obviously you start Lamar Miller and start Hopkins, but I don't expect much out of either of them this week.
You start Will Fuller?
No.
It just depends on the options. It's a bye week. You never know. You might have to start Will Fuller.
Yeah.
Not a bad week against the Lions, though. I wish we did this every day and talked about deep shit. All right, so we got a lot of matchups to talk about. So we're gonna bust through them pretty quickly now. So we got Seattle, New Orleans. That's gonna be a fun one. Jimmy Graham faces his old team, so look for him to have a big day. Russell Wilson owners start with confidence. Doug Baldwin feeling pretty good for that matchup. Christine Michael, just beautiful play. I hear Thomas Rawls is back, but I feel like, come on, man. Christine Michael's earned the job. Let him have it. He's won. Anyone playing New Orleans is going to be fun. So it's going to be a good matchup. Drew Brees, like you said, Mike is he's matchup proof. Richard Sherman might. I know Richard Sherman's pretty good, and I've looked at the Seattle Seahawks stats. They actually don't allow that many points or yards.
No, they don't.
But they're playing in New Orleans, so advantage Drew Brees.
Yeah, and I don't like Russell Wilson or Doug Baldwin or like the past game. I do like Christine Michael mainly, and I like Jimmy Graham. And there was a reunion, but I just don't see. Look, Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin, they're off. They're not clicking. He might be good for a solid couple of points, but he's not like he's not the solidified wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1 people are expecting so far, and we were high on him before the year. He's just not lived up to the expectations. And I know the Saints are vulnerable defense, but I think they're going to be playing hyped. I think they're going to be playing jacked up, and they're going to be ready to go after a game that they kind of let slip out of their hands last week. I feel like they feel like they could have won. They had the turnover late in the game with like 5 minutes left or whatever in the red zone, and they still got within 3 points.
Well, don't forget about how the Seattle Seahawks tied with the Cardinals.
Yeah, Seahawks just don't look that good, and I know that. Look, the New Orleans Saints aren't that bad of a defense. They really aren't. It's just
we'll see what happens.
They're an offense that scores a lot of
points. If you have to start
so
Doug Baldwin this week, I would start him against New Orleans. Like I said, if you have to, you're going to do it.
Right, you're probably going to start him.
I can see him scoring a touchdown.
Predictions.
Everyone's thinking Jimmy Graham's going to score.
Yeah,
it'll probably be Jermaine Kearse or something weird.
On the other side of the ball, it's Brandon Cooks. He might be a decent play, but Seattle does not give up the big play.
It might be more of a Michael Thomas week.
I think he's the guy you want to start of the 3 because he's the bigger body, and if they do get in the red zone, he's the guy that can snag one because he's the big. I don't see the Saints going downfield getting a big play. They're going to have to work it down a lot of small change sort of things. Seattle Seahawks defense tackles well, but make no mistake, Drew Brees will probably get 300 yards.
All right, dude. Let's talk about Oakland and Tampa Bay. I like it. Fun matchup.
It is a fun matchup, man.
For all involved.
This could be a letdown, just like Jacksonville and Oakland last week. I don't know.
Maybe Tampa Bay steps up, and maybe it's not as good for Oakland. But either way, I've noticed from Mike Evans, if it is a letdown, Mike Evans will find a way to get his 1 touchdown.
Evans still gets love.
Yeah.
He's must start. He's still awesome.
He always, even if it's
it could just be a letdown game. That's all I'm predicting from this one. I like the matchups. Obviously, you're going to start everyone in this
Rogers, Latavius Murray, Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree.
Obviously,
maybe even Cameron Brate.
Yeah, you're starting them, but temper expectations. It's not going to be like.
Yeah, is Oakland's defense are we underrating Oakland's defense? Are we underrating Tampa Bay's defense?
We're underrating them both a little bit.
So yeah, look for that game to be kind of an upset like last week. I'm hoping for some good fantasy points from my studs. All right, guys, we got 4 more games left to preview. We got Arizona and Cardinals.
We didn't talk about the Bears game. We got more than that.
That's the last one. That's Monday night. We gotta talk about that one last.
Yeah. So we got 5 more games.
5 more games. My bad. So Arizona and Cardinals. This is a fun one because both teams are in similar situations. They're both in must-win situations. I think Bruce Arians has done a better job of getting the Cardinals back on track. Although that tie was super weird and it was because of the kicker. So like we mentioned earlier, it's just kind of like
offense also didn't score any touchdowns. I mean,
good point.
They tied because of kicking, but
also. I'm looking
that's why I said tamper expectations with Seahawks.
I don't really like.
I'm gonna say the same thing about this game. I mean, obviously you're gonna start your guys.
I think the Cardinals are a better team than the Panthers, and I think the Cardinals are gonna wipe the Panthers' ass.
I think it's gonna be a
close one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a defensive game.
I'm worried.
I think both teams' defense will come to play, and I think there's things to worry about for both offenses.
I mean, Cam's going to be getting his rush yards. He's going to be finding ways to get first down. This is going to be a battle. This is probably the game of the week, I think. Bruce Arians versus what's the coach? What's his name?
Ron Rivera. Yeah, this is
going to be a good.
They both need to win.
This is going to be a coaching chess match. It's going to be a beautiful chess match. Same with San Diego and Denver. Denver and San Diego always seem to play each other pretty well. I see Denver getting out of the funk this week.
Yeah,
I see them getting some action going against San Diego.
They do. They usually do well against Rivers. I like it. It's at home. They held out Rivers in check the last time they played them on the road, and they'll do the same thing this week. And there's talk that they're getting DeMarcus Ware back, and I expect a lot of big things from Devontae Booker. I think he's going to come in and be that feature back.
And you know what? What a perfect match.
I like Demarius. I like Sanders.
He has Devontae Booker is the perfect matchup for his premier start.
I like Melvin Gordon a little bit, but I don't like him for 20 this week unless they use him in the pass game. Hunter Henry, I think he's okay. He's the one who killed the Broncos.
I don't trust any of the San Diego.
Wait, didn't San Diego
shooters.
beat the Broncos last time they played?
I think they did, but that was what was
it? Was like 21-13.
Let's check it out. That must have been 2 weeks ago, huh?
Either way, Rivers didn't. From a fantasy perspective, he didn't really kill it. He never really does against the Broncos. Never really lights it up. And we'll see. And because the Broncos lost, that even bodes well for them to come out really motivated to get that one back. But, you got to start Rivers. You just got to, just in case he kills it, in case we're wrong. Very possible. And Melvin Gordon. But at this point, it's tough to... Tyrell Williams is the guy you want to play. He's probably going to get his points. He's a sneaky little play. I say play him. But Travis Benjamin, I'm not so sure about anymore. I liked him,
I'm not going to start anybody
really
unless I have to.
So that's a weird one. Definitely, start your guys, man.
Yeah, I like the Denver guys. I mean, Devontae Booker, if you got him. Oh, I wish I had him.
He's the thing to watch in this game. Let's see what he can do.
That's what we're watching. And you got Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas. Good, go for it. It's going to be awesome. Trevor Simeon's getting his groove going, but I think Peyton's coming back. It's like there's hidden messages in his commercials. When all those commercials, there's hidden messages telling us that he's going to come back and win a third Super Bowl ring and then retire again. All right, let's move on to Green Bay, Atlanta. Julio Jones, remember 2 years ago? Burned the fuck out of Packers. But you know what? It's going to be a good battle. I think Green Bay Packers defense is a lot better than they were then. However, Atlanta's defense is a lot better than they were back then. So this is going to be a formidable matchup between Rodgers and Matt Ryan. I'm looking for it to be a fun game. This is one of those games that comes down to possibly Rodgers Hail Mary, Richard Rodgers.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair on both sides. I like Julio for a huge week.
I like
Cobb.
Spread.
I like Montgomery. I like Adams. I like
Montgomery,
Rodgers and Ryan, and I even like Jacob Tamey.
Right.
I like it all. I don't like either defense this week. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I mean,
this could be the shootout. This
Montgomery,
could be your game of the week.
It's gonna be fun. It's just kind of like no one's open. Boom, points.
Damn,
boom,
there's
points.
a bunch of good games this week, guys.
Yeah.
This could be a fun fantasy.
week. Last week was kind of a weird week. You know what I mean? It was kind
weird.
of like.
It was weird because you lost to me.
Jeremy Hill almost had 40 points in our league. So yeah, weird week. But
he does that though. Remember, I've said when Jeremy Hill has game,
the pieces have moved. The pieces have moved. Things have changed. We got 2 more games to match up. We're almost there. Okay, so we got Philadelphia and Dallas. Divisional game. Am I right?
Yes, it is, man. NFC East.
So Carson Wentz.
Tough matchup for both.
Had a nice little start. Carson Wentz is going through some rookie issues. Philadelphia needs to figure out their game plan if they're going to want to play Dallas because Dallas has got culture.
This is the game.
It's got energy.
I don't want to start. I'll start Philly's defense, but I won't start anyone else on Philly's offense.
Yeah, the defense could be a decent look. Dak Prescott did, once it's kind of like the one log that breaks the dam. Like you throw your first pick, flawless, but then that first pick leads to the second pick. That second pick leads to that third pick. Pretty soon, all of a sudden, you're thinking too much, and now Dak Prescott's doubting himself and throwing interceptions.
I just see it. I don't see him throwing interceptions. I see it more like just NFC East battle, low scoring, not many big play opportunities, and there could be a few turnovers.
Ezekiel Elliott obviously gonna do his thing. You think?
I don't.
Big points from him.
No, nothing huge.
Really? So Ezekiel
he's gonna get good points, but let me finish. I'm saying he's not gonna get 30. Because Philly's got a very stout, very disciplined defense. They're not going to give up a big play to him.
Right.
And they've played Dallas. They've gone against his offensive line. They're not scared. They're ready to go. Their D-line is ready. They got safeties that aren't going to let Ezekiel get by him. So, it's a tough game to start. I'm worried about Cole Beasley. And usually he's must start, but maybe not. But, Ezekiel's must start.
Obviously.
He's going to probably get 20, but he's not going to get 40.
Dez is coming back.
Yeah, Dez is coming back, and I don't think I don't like the
Don't
matchup,
start
man.
him.
Like I said,
You bench him.
It's
You wait.
it's a tough game to start. Obviously, someone's going to do good, but
Don't start
You know
Dez
what?
Bryant this week.
yeah, maybe not starting him, man.
gotta
I'm
wait.
worried about even Cole Beasley. He's usually very active, but Philly's going to come to play, and they're coming off a big win against the Vikings.
Yeah.
They want to go in down there and just quiet it down in Dallas. They want to fucking, make a point that Dallas is not the team to beat. The Eagles are the team to beat.
So we got
we'll
two
see
rookie
what happens,
quarterbacks
man.
going against. So what do you think? Jordan Matthews, start him?
No,
Ryan Matthews, do you start him?
I said I don't start anyone on the Eagles this week.
Okay, so it's going to be a low. It's going to be a bloody, long, just grind out, winning by field goals.
The reason I say that is
So
because you
maybe-
could have Ryan Matthews, but what if Jordan Matthews kills it? You could have Jordan Matthews. What if Ryan Matthews kill it? The fact of the matter is they're both not going to kill it.
So what
That's
about?
why I'm saying don't start any of them because you're just taking a risk. It's not
So-
like with other matchups where it's a sure thing.
Is this one of those games where it's like the kickers? You get the kicker.
Yeah,
Cody
kickers
Parkers.
should be good, man.
Like
It's in
Dan
the
Bailey
dome.
and Cody Parkey, sleeper kickers of the week. We like it. All right.
Look, I'm saying that someone's going to score big points, and I could be wrong. Yeah, man, maybe Ryan Matthews has 20. But
I don't know.
the
you
chances
think?
are that him and a receiver don't put up 20, and that's what this fantasy shit's about. Find the matchup where the running back and the tight end and the receiver are going to kill it. That's why I love Pittsburgh, because their fucking tight end will get 15, and then their two receivers will get 30,
Right.
and their quarterback will get 30. It's like it's all love, so it's high-volume plays. This is not a type of game. It's like maybe Dez Bryant's the only guy for the Cowboys that kills it. Maybe Ezekiel's the only guy. Maybe they all just have mediocre games. It's going to be like that.
Well, either way, I think we can all agree the matchup of the week is Green Bay and Atlanta.
Yes, there's a bunch of good matchups.
And
It's going to be fun.
it's going to be a fun week. Last but not least, we're going to wrap up the podcast because Thursday Night Football is about to start. We got Minnesota and Chicago Monday night,
Yeah, this is just like I said.
just like you
For
said.
Chicago, like same thing I just said about Philly. It's tough to start anyone because the
just,
likelihood of all of them doing good is very slim.
Did
So
we start the kickers?
you might be thinking, oh well, Jeffrey's got Cutler coming back, but oh shit, Eddie Royal steals the show.
If
I could
Cutler's
say
coming
start
back,
Eddie Royal
start
as
the
a sleeper,
Vikings.
but I'm not doing that anymore.
No,
Y'all figure it out
Vikings-
yourselves.
If Cutler's back, then expect the Vikings defense to get sacks and interceptions.
Yeah, I like Vikings
maybe a pick
defense.
six.
Asiata, I like him as a play. I do like Asiata this week. I know the Bears are a little bit tighter on the run, but
Yeah,
Asiata
Asiata's
is getting
a nice
loved in the
little play.
pass game, so I like him. And there's talk McKinnon might not be 100%. But in terms of receivers, like again, I could say start Adam Thielen. But maybe if Stephon Diggs
Yeah.
reemerges, I just say stay away from that entirely.
Yeah,
You know,
Brian
at this point in
Hoyer-
the season, you shouldn't have to be relying on Stephon Diggs or fucking Ryan Matthews or Jordan Like, that's why I'm saying don't start him. Like, go out there and find someone for the pay, like a Chris Hogan or someone else, man. I don't know. But if you have, like, I'd rather have fucking Terrell Pryor and Duke Johnson and all that than Ryan Matthews. You know what I mean?
All right, man. Well, that wraps up the previews for all the games. We got some fun matchups. We got some matchups to stay away from.
All right.
But it's a bye week, so, this is the time of the year where you kind of have to just
Good
get
shit.
creative.
You owe me 100. You owe
All
me
right.
100 for this.
Peace out. Peace out, guys.